I wanted to come with you today and talk to you about my 80 Series Landcruiser. Now, I've had a lot of questions in the comments about what's been done to this Landcruiser, what features it has, and I just wanted to put out a quick video. But before we get too far along, I want to ask you a favor. If you could, please subscribe to the channel. I've noticed in the analytics that most of the people watching, I would say 90%, aren't subscribed. If we could change those numbers around, where everybody that watches subscribes to the channel would blow up, and I'd really appreciate it. It's free for you, and if you like this content, it's a win-win situation. So you're just gonna make sure you don't miss anything else. Now, without any further ado, this is my 1995 Toyota FZJ80 Landcruiser. It's got the 4.5 liter inline six motor, which I've had no troubles with. I've got it on 35-inch tires. These are Yokohama Geolander MT, they're G003. I've been very, very impressed with them. They're relatively quiet for a mud terrain. I've driven them to Moab and back twice, so lots of highway miles. Driven them to Colorado from South Carolina. Again, lots of highway miles, lots of off-highway miles, lots of dirt, lots of gravel, lots of mud. They do great in most all of it. What I'd like to do is just kind of go through the Landcruiser. I've done a lot to this Landcruiser, and I don't want to miss anything. So some of my favorite features is my worn 12,000-pound winch. It's an M12-S, that's with the synthetic fair lead. I've got the Factor 55 doodads up front here, the spindle and the fair lead. Love those. And all that's mounted on an ARB winch bumper. Now they have other bumpers on the market that have more ground clearance, that are even maybe a better design, but they don't have the classic look of this ARB. And with something from the 90s like this Toyota is, the ARB just looks right. Now, I am in the market for another bumper eventually, but for now, this one's done everything I've asked for it. I've rubbed the bottom of it up on a bunch of rocks up in Moab and on the East Coast as well, and it's taken all of it. The plate has moved a little bit on this side. I might have to show you that, but for the most part, it's done a really, really great job, and it's held my winch up there. You can also see on the winch bumper, I've got my little GMRS antenna mounted. I used to have a big one, but my wife said when she was driving shotgun, all the swaying, it just really annoyed her. So I put the small, little, Midland stubby up here. Some people say these don't do a lot. I don't know. They seem to work fine. These are some Amazon lights that I bought. They have done well up here. All right, moving on from that. I do have some ditch lights mounted on the sides here. These brackets came from YodaTEQ. That's YodaTEQ.com. I like these. That's how I mounted my ditch lights and my reverse lights, which we'll get back to those in a second. These lights are Harbor Freight lights. They work great. They're about $60, $70 a pop, and they really, really work great. They're kind of like a rigid knockoff, but they work great. Let's see, what else do we have going on? I've got my sliders. These are white knuckle off-road sliders. I've been very, very impressed with them. You can see that I've still managed to get into my door, but the damage, there would be a lot more damage if it wasn't for these rock sliders, and they really protected my rocker panels, so we put those on, I put those on, and it's just some added protection out on the trail. Now, as far as a roof rack, I put a roof rack on. I I did this after our first trip to Moab when I noticed, hey, there's no trees out there, there's no shade. I would like some shade. So I wanted to mount an awning. I don't usually leave the awning mounted all the time, but I mounted a roof rack for the pure purpose of mounting an awning. And this roof rack is made by Bowfin cruisers. I believe they're on the East Coast. Actually, I'm not really sure where they are. I think they're up in North Carolina or something, but I have to check on that. Bowfin cruisers. It's extruded aluminum on top with these, I believe it's like 1/4 inch side panels that go in the gutters, and they're held on with these mounts. I've been very, very impressed with it. It's kind of finicky to get up there and get in place, but once you have it, it hasn't moved for me. And it's modular, and you can use any of the extruded aluminum attachments like Prinsu makes to put accessories up there. I don't keep much mounted up there. I like to keep my weight down. All right, moving around to the back of the vehicle. Now, this next item, accessory, whatever you want to call it, bit of trail armor, bit of kit here is my rear bumper. It is probably my favorite addition to this Land Cruiser, and it really has increased the capabilities by just dramatically increasing my departure angle. It is made by 4x4 Labs. Well, let me take that back. It's a kit made by 4x4 Labs that I put together and welded, and then I had it powder coated locally. And I just love it. It gives me a way to mount my tire on the back. It also gives me a way to mount a couple of jerry cans, or a YodaTEQ cooler fits in there. It's very nice with the swing outs. And yeah, 4x4 Labs, look them up. They make great product, and their kits are, I mean, it's all expensive, but it's pretty reasonable. All right, while we're back here on the back side of the Land Cruiser, I would like to show you one thing on the inside that really is a favorite feature of mine. You can't really see it, but inside this quarter panel is an ARB dual air compressor, and I added that in, and I've got the piping run up to the front. I'll show you that. But it's got a air chuck up there at the front. I keep air up tools right here so I can air up my tires. And I keep extra snatch straps, tow line extensions. All this is in the back here. Tools. And when I'm really, really doing some traveling, some overlanding, I've got a full sleeping platform that I install back here. That has storage underneath it, and then I can sleep in here on the road. You can also see at this shot, you can see my rear view lights, my backup lights. I do have a rear view camera that's mounted right here on my tag, and the only problem with that is I couldn't really see. I couldn't get enough lights from the factory reverse lights, so I had these reverse lights added. I put them on a separate switch in case I want to turn it on for whatever reason. So that's the back. The back of the Land Cruiser also has the only rust in the entire truck is right here. It's right here on this this back window. I need to pull this back window and clean that rust out before it gets away from me. But we'll close this up. We will get us a nice drink while we're back here. And like I mentioned earlier, I do have my Maxi Trac. This is a cheap, it's like an ARB knockoff, but for what I do and how often I use it, it works great. This awning is a 8-foot square. It comes out, it's pretty easy to set up. It's easier with 2 people, I won't lie. But it's pretty lightweight compared to the freestanding awnings. It's much cheaper. I think I paid around $150 for it. And if you look around, you might even find them for under $100. But yeah, I like my awning. It comes in handy. I don't always keep it mounted up, but I'm kind of lazy, so I usually just end up keeping it mounted up. I'll show you a couple things on the inside too. I have added a dash pad. The reason I did that is because, well, my dash cracked and I didn't really like the looks of it. I also have an iPad mini here, and I'm running Gaia GPS here. That's the GPS you see here. I like to run that. Also have a, I'm not sure how you say it, Wuxon KG1000G mounted up. I like this. I can just mount the faceplate down here. I've got my handheld radio mounted, or not my handheld, my GMRS radio. I've got it mounted to my useless cubby insert that I got from Wits End. I hear that they're not the preferred place to purchase anything from now, so I don't know if I would do that. But there's another company I'm making it, I think you can find. I did add my CDL button center diff lock, so I can engage that. It's currently engaged. This is a big one right here, guys. It's triple locked. I added the factory diff lock switch. Even though I don't have factory diff locks, I have the Eaton electronic diff locks, and I love them. They also work if you turn it on. That's rear, that's forward. As you can see, the lights work on the dash. I'm gonna turn them back off. Those work. I've got some factory switches. This switch goes to my ditch lights. This switch goes to my, oh, I almost forgot. I do have rock lights underneath. Not gonna be able to see them in the daytime. Maybe I can get out tonight and get some footage of those at night. But I do have rock lights. That's the switch for those. And that's the switch for my air compressor in the back. Not sure if you can hear that, but that's the air compressor. Then I have another switch right here. That's my reverse lights, heater. No, that's my reverse lights right there. Reverse lights. And that, my friends, is, what is that? Oh, that's my ditch lights. This is my front bumper lights. Okay, whew. Getting confusing. There is a lot of lights in this thing. So for the GMRS radio, I do have that main body is mounted under my dash right there. You can't see it, but it's behind this speaker vent, so when someone talks, it comes through there. Let's see what else. That is about it for the 1995 Toyota Landcruiser. I just wanted to go through it at least once and show you everything I've got installed, how I get around off-road, how I communicate. Because I've had a lot of questions. I didn't think anybody was interested, but I do get questions about, does that have dual lockers? Does it have the center lock? In the comments, I get a lot of those questions. So hopefully this video will help you with that, with the people that are interested. And if you're not interested, well, you know, stick around for the next video. We're gonna be getting the Jeep Wagoneer put back together. We've got the transfer case out of it and some parts ordered. As soon as those get back in, we'll get that transfer case shoved back up into the Jeep, and we'll get it out for some testing. And till then, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a like, a thumbs up, get down in the comments and just say anything. Tell me how dumb I look. Tell me how much you dislike 80 Series Landcruiser. You think XJs are the best. I don't know, just anything to stroke that algorithm. I certainly appreciate it, guys. Take care, and we'll see you next time.